Sir, the session will also be live on YouTube. We'll share the YouTube link also to you. You can share with your other CA friends who could not join later.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, all. I invite all of you for the second day of this virtual seminar on LLP Act. I recognize the presence of CA Deepak Ladda, Chairman of the Hyderabad branch, CS Rahul Jain, today's speaker, and all the members who have joined on the time. Now I welcome CA Deepak Ladda, Chairman of the Hyderabad branch, to give the overview of this today's program and welcome address for this today.
Thank you, Secretary Ravi Shankar Reddy, for maintaining our track record and starting the program on time. A very good momentum and rapport you are showing, sir. And I welcome the speaker of the day, Sir Rahul Jain, sir. Welcome for the second day of this 2-day series of LLP program. And I really thank you for accepting our invitation on the first time and agreeing to address on such a hot topic and a burning topic. I hope all of our members will have a lot of doubts. I'm sure there is no clarity even to the speakers also on many subjects, but still you have shown the commitment saying that whatever we can address and the solutions we can give and ready to accept. As we all know, friends, the LLP version 3 MCA filings have been introduced very recently, and in the group discussion that is happening in many professional groups, there is a lot of clarity that MCA has to give yet on this subject. But still, as maintaining the tradition of Hyderabad branch for conducting program on relevant topics and important topics so that it is more fruitful and benefit to our members, Hyderabad branch of SIRC have requested the speakers to address on the 2 important topics. That's why we have conducted 2-day seminar on LLP filings. Yesterday, program was conducted on the LLP Amendments Act, key amendments to the LLP Act by CS Pawan Kumar sir, and the feedback was excellent. And today's second day of the last day of the series will be taken over by CS Rahul Jain on the practical aspects of the LLP filings. I thank all the members who have registered for the program and already joined on this more than 4602. By the time Rahul sir, you will take, the numbers will go beyond 150, I hope. Thank you, members, for maintaining and obliging and honoring the organizers for joining on the program and registering for Hyderabad program in a larger manner and making our programs and planning successful. Thank you. And we wish you to kindly track our Hyderabad branch website for the latest program. We have still 2 programs for this week. That's in the end of the program, our Ravi Shankar Reddy will announce for the 2 programs, that is on Friday and Saturday. So till that time, not wasting the time on this key topic today, I thank you for the opportunity given. Back to you, Ravi Shankar.
Thank you, Chairman sir, for the overview. And now I take the privilege of introducing today's speaker, CS Rahul Jain. He is a company secretary from the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Also, he is a certified trademark agent from IP India and an alumni of the Indian School of Business. He is the founding partner of RANJ and Associates Company Secretaries, which deals with corporate laws, IBC, NCLT matters, FEMA, fundraising, capital markets, M&A, and corporate restructuring, intellectual property rights, etc. He is a regular faculty at ICSI, ICI, OU, Nalsar, Symbiosis, and he has authored a number of articles and published online learning platforms. He is also a regular trainer for REC, CBI, ED, and other offices of Central Economic Intelligence Bureau, Government of India, in respect of various corporate legal issues. With this small brief introduction, I welcome CS Rahul Jain sir to take up today's session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I speak, sir? Can I start?
Yes, please, sir. The session is all yours.
Please.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Deepak Ladda ji, for inviting me on behalf of Hyderabad branch of SIRC of ICI. It's a pleasure to come after a long time, almost 7 years it's been since the last addressed your members. I think that was also on the advent of the new Companies Act and again those new learnings for the members. So it's a good opportunity again for me to share some what I know and also take some feedback from your learned members of the chartered accountant profession. So first of all, thank you so much, Deepak ji, for inviting me. I also definitely want to thank the entire committee under your leadership and along with you, your team members, Satish Kumar ji, Ravi Shankar Reddy ji, Girdhari Lal Toshnewal ji, Chandrababu M ji, Uppalapati Sharan Kumar, Rajambal MSc, Chinna Sitaram Reddy ji, and Ramarao Karumanchi. So thank you so much to all the esteemed members of ICI Hyderabad branch, and I think we should kickstart this session since now we have a good number of attendees now. My PPT is now live on the screen. If there are any technical issue, please do let me know in viewing the PPT. At the same time, I'm also going to play some videos. So during that process also, if you face any difficulty, do apprise me. So welcome to all the members, esteemed members of Chartered Accountants Fraternity, Hyderabad branch. The topic given to me today is understanding the new ways of e-filing for LLPs version 3.0. Now this is, as Deepak ji and his initial remarks have suggested, a burning topic, but at the same time, the problems that each one of us facing are so unique. So I think we'll have to come together and resolve them. And I think it's a good platform today to hear out all the issues. And wherever possible, I would try to contribute from my side. At the same time, I would acknowledge the fact that none of us are experts as of now in understanding or cracking this new portal, because it springs up with the new errors on routine basis on a daily basis. However, I'll try my sincere efforts to see that all of the queries are answered to the fullest extent possible. So coverage today that I'm going to take up is first of all understanding why V3 portal. It's called as V3.0, the new MCA.gov.in. Under that there is a new concept, version 3. The first point, the first foremost point, why we need V3. What is the existing problems in V2?
Rahulji.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to disturb you. Can you give put your PPT on a slideshow mode? It will come larger.
I had kept that already, sir.
No, it is coming in a. It's not in a slideshow. It's an open file.
I have used that option F5. I don't know.
Double click कर सकते हो.
F5 दबा दीजिए sir. I think F5.
F5 दबाया है sir. It's yeah. It's in my system. It's showing full screen.
Okay.
Close करके फिर open करना.
Okay. Let me close the PPT and try to do it again. Now, sir. Deepak ji?
Not yet, sir. It is coming black. Not on full screen mode yet.
To me, it is actually showing full screen. I am not able to understand where is the problem. It's full screen right now in my system.
So you do 100%, sir. I think it's coming 65%. You can just.
Yeah, let me increase the file size.
But not on a slideshow mode yet.
Now, are you able to see this full screen, sir?
I think you
Still
can go
that.
to the slideshow option on the ribbon button.
I've used the slideshow option, sir. I mean, in my system, it's actually showing
Toolbars,
full
that
screen.
toolbars and the name of the files, everything is coming here, sir. The top toolbar and everything is coming.
I have hidden the toolbar also now. There is, I'm so sorry, but at my end, if I use F5, it is full screen, and at your end, it is not showing up. I think so. That is what the case is.
Yes.
Hmm. Uh,
सर हेलो सर नीचे आए देखो सर Hello.
I have used that, sir. I believe me, I have used that slideshow option. It is pretty common option, so I'm definitely aware of it. I have used that. I've used F5. Literally sorry that I'm not able to show up there.
sir slideshow is there in the records opposite sir.
हाँ मैं अब जैसे now I pressed it, so in my system it is actually full screen completely.
ठीक है sir, we'll proceed on. Just keep on trying.
Yeah, in case maybe. So are you able to see on the screen at least the content very clearly, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I beg your pardon, but I don't know. I am trying to do my best, but maybe some issue. So sincere apologies for that, but let us come back to the topic. So I was trying to share the thought process as to why we came to version V3. What all the problems that were there in V2 which paved way for V3. It's not that we are not facing any problems in V3, but yes, the intent wise, MCA definitely would have thought that the scanning of the document, the scanned documents are not in readable format. Nowadays, if you see, even the stock exchange filings are in readable format, even though if it is PDF. Then we move to XBRL. Now, with the concept of data mining, trying to read the data through system rather than some human being trying to open the form, read the content, read the attachment separately. I think MCA's thought process is, let us make the forms completely online, web-based. And this is the difference, or I would say the first difference between a V2 and a V3. The forms, the e-forms in V2, as all of you are aware, are PDF forms. However, in the V3, it is web form, web-based form. So it's online form. So that's a major difference between V2 and V3. What does it mean? How does it change our compliances? Very simple. If you see the perils of current V2 program portal, there would be a lot of attachments that would have been filed with SD. There would have been a lot of attachments where copy pasted signatures would have been used. A lot of data would have been input into the forms, which is redundant or already available with MCA. And even the pre-fill option currently that we have does not probably fetch the data completely. Now under the V3, there is an intent. The intent is very clear. There is an intent to see that all those data which is already there with MCA through some other filings previously are captured when we are doing the new filing or current filing. So that's the intent behind bringing the V3. So right now the V3 portal brings in a new login and new business and registered user interface. That means all of us are going to get into a new mode of filing, new login, new business registrations or registered user registrations. The new way of associating DSC with the portal. As of now, you do not require a registration to associate DSC. First time V3 brings in that rule that you have to first log in and then only you can associate a DSC. Associating a DSC means probably when you're trying to do any filing, you need to attach DSC of any particular director or professional. In that case, the DSC must be registered with the MCA. So that doesn't require as of now a login when you try to register with the MCA, but under the new regime, under the V3, this is the new concept. Obviously, after the DSC registrations, you are going to go for the filing. So that is also part of this V3 portal, which was launched on 8th March 2022, which a lot of fanfare. I'm sure all of us here have witnessed a lot of critical issues, a lot of practical issues while trying to register. Forget about filing of the forms. Even registration is till date for many of the LLPs, corporates, professionals. It's been a tough job, and hence this today's session, how to resolve, what are the common errors that we are trying to face. So if you see the concept wise, if I could sum up in the 6 different categories, the new features of MCA v3.0. First, simplified username and registration process. That means what? Earlier, with one registration, you could have done n number of filings, typically the professional firms. Now, that is not going to be the case. There would be a limitation in that. However, they are now linking PAN mandatorily with all the user IDs. Earlier, you just needed one email ID, the username, you can give whatever you like. That is not going to be the case. It is going to be a much more specific to the entity for which you are going to file. That means the LLP IN comes into picture. Now, whatever features that you're right now seeing on screen that are general in nature, that are for the V3 portal, as of now, these features are available only for LLP, but going forward on the similar lines, the company's filings also are going to be done. So more or less, you can see these features also being borrowed into the company's V3 portal. So the first one is unique user ID for each LLP. So that's, you're calling it as a simplified username and registration process. For us as a professional, it is much of a workload. Now for each LLP, we will have to create new unique user ID. Next, refined user types, roles and groups. Earlier with one ID, we used to do multiple things. Now it is not going to be the case. You will have to assign a role. For example, if you are going to file for LLP, then you have to assign one designated partner. You have to associate one designated partner saying that he or she is the authorized professional on behalf of the LLP for the filing. So this is called as a assigning of a role. So this is also a new feature that is going to come up while you register for the business user. Easy user ID and password recovery. The process has been simplified for creating user ID. Very simple. Now user ID of an LLP is the LLP IN. There is no confusion. You need not forget your user ID for LLPs because it's directly the registration number, the LLP IN of the LLP, which is the user ID. Only thing is we might forget his password. For that, OTP process is there through which the password recovery is possible after certain security checks. So this is something which is new. Streamlined authorization and suspension process means as and when you want to authorize any person, you can authorize. You want to deauthorize a person, you can deauthorize. So it's called as authorization and suspension. So whenever any LLP filings are going to be done, LLP will register. LLP will authorize one among them to be one among the DP to be able to file the forms with MCA. And if that particular person leaves, then we have to deregister or suspend also. So that also will have to be done at the time of filing. Email ID and mobile OTP validation. Whenever you are going to log in, there will be a, like akin to the banking system, OTP verification or validation process. So now, even when you log in, you will have to give OTP at the time, unless of course you are logging only from the same system and there is no expiry of that session. So if the 5 minutes time is elapsed, the session gets expired, you have to log in again, which will require OTP validation. So now, if you're logging in for any LLP's filing, you have to use that unique LLP INs, LLP's login registration or a business user registration, and OTP will be required to log in every time. So this is the additional security features or checks and balances in system. We have seen earlier so many instances where some firms were targeted, some practicing professionals were targeted because certain filings were done through their names. In my view, this is a welcome step because unnecessarily the professionals targeting while filing of the forms will be stopped. So it's a very good thing in my view. Of course, it's a tedious job to keep a track of all our clients. Right now it is LLP, tomorrow it is going to be companies as well. It's a tedious job to keep a track of each and every user ID, each and every designated partner. Additionally, you can also create a single ID for example, common partners are there in 3 different LLPs. We can form a unique business user with one DP's, one designated partner's ID using his or her credentials. And since that person is a common to 3 LLPs, you can use that person's credentials to file for 3 different LLPs. So some relaxation is definitely available where the security measures are taken care of. That means the same person is the authorized person for 3 different LLPs. For example, in that case, one person's email ID registration or the username registration is enough. If I go to the comparative analysis of week 2 versus week 3 of certain filing related processes, let me go to the downloading of forms. Earlier, we used to first download the form and fill in the data, attach the DSC, and then file the forms. Now it is different. First, we have to fill the form online. Once it is complete in all respects, generate the SRN, download the form, and then use the DSC and file the form. So this is a little different from the V2 portal because these are all web-based forms. These are not typical forms that we are going to, we are currently filing for companies, and earlier we used to do for LLPs. If we used to log in into the MCA portal, we used to definitely go to the My Workspace concept or the tab, which had a list of all the features or what filings we have done. If any companies have received any notices that we used to come through, that particular tab used to come to know. Now that has been replaced with My Application. I repeat, this is a unique concept to each LLP. Right now, our workspace is all based on a professional login. Let's say CA firm has logged in. In My Workspace, that CA firm's workspace will show all their clientele for which historically the filings have been done right from the day the user ID was created. Now in the new system, that concept will not work. Each LLP has to have their own login ID. As such, in My Application tab, only with respect to that LLP, those features will only be available, those historical data only will be available. Earlier, we did not require OTPs to provide any authenticity to the filing process or login process. Now, there will be OTPs which will be sent to the mobile and email ID to ensure the authenticity of the user. Earlier, as I was telling you that associating DSC was easier, you did not log in. Now, login is a mandatory requirement to associate DSC. That means more labor efforts to again and again log in, because login itself is a tedious process right now as things stand today. Under the earlier regime, business user was a very rare concept. Most of us, at least the professionals, used to go for registered user. Now, registered user can still be created, but the functionalities have been blocked. Only 2 things are possible right now. You can apply for a name of an LLP. You can apply for incorporation of an LLP. All other functionalities have been taken off from the registered user. That means now only through the unique registration, business user registration of the LLP, the filings will be done. However, for the companies, the functionality will continue with the same registered user as it is. Now, the challenge for the professionals like us is to migrate from a registered user to a business user. This is the challenge. This is the first thing that we will have to take up. In spite of that, the LLP or the company filings will have to be done uniquely. Only thing is the incorporation related process, associating DSC related process is possible. So we were discussing objective of V3 and its advantage. We already dealt with these points. This is a larger perspective which MCA in its various FAQs and various document releases, till now they have released 3-4 different FAQs. So this is a thought process of MCA. I have captured that as it is and presented on screen. This is the concept they believe in by introducing V3. First of all, expansion, product diversification, marketing, branding, and manpower strengthening. Providing easy access to public documents. That means downloading the public documents will get easier. Frankly speaking, as things stand today, it doesn't show any difference from the process that is already in vogue. However, we understand from this statement that going forward, I think public documents downloading will be a much more easy process. Faster and effective resolution of public grievance. I'm sure all of us all having grievances here, and the resolution is taking a lot of time, but the intent of the MCA is very clear. They want to resolve the grievances in time. Provide registration and verification of charges easily. This I think is more so from the company's point of view, that the charges will be directly filed through a web-based forms, and I think it will be linked with the other banking related platforms. I think the MCA database is going to be linked with Surshai data and other banking related platforms. So that way this platform is going to be used. Ensure proactive and effective compliance with relevant laws. Of course, that is the intent of the any portal. Right now we are discussing MCA. Enable MCA employees to deliver best of breed services. If you see the current e-form based system, it definitely is a very time consuming process in the back end. By introducing web based forms, the idea is that the time, the process related aspects of downloading an e-form, opening it, approving it, checking the attachments, all those time can be saved by web-based form. That means more and more content will be in digital format, in system readable format. Idea is that system itself will give pop-ups, or it will show the delivery of certain compliances or non-compliances that has been done with respect to those filings. And I think with that intent, the MCA employees or the MCA hierarchy will be helpful. It will be helpful for them to deliver the services. Now I go to different kinds of users. I was just telling all the members today that we have two kinds of users. One is registered user, other is business user. So if you see the features on screen, registered user is typically the user ID that we all have. However, in the LLP V3 regime, it will be only individuals. Only individuals can access that, and only two functionalities will be available: name reservation and incorporation. In the business user, it will be, I'm talking generally for company LLP at a larger scale, assuming that V3 portal will be implemented universally. Once it is done, that business user will be unique for the company LLP. You will be assigning a role for a director or a designated partner. You can assign a manager, company secretary, or any other authorized representative. You can also register for officer in default in case there is no such other officer available and you need to nominate someone as an officer in default. And lastly, as practicing professionals, we can register for the professional also. So this is all going to be business user. That means we all chartered accountant firms, company secretary firms, or professional firms have to migrate. I use the word migrate. It is not new, but whatever our existing user IDs are there, we have to migrate to the business user. Once we migrate, then only we can access all the functionalities of MCA. Unless we do that, only two functionalities will be available: name reservation and incorporation. What are the inputs for different types of uh, users? For registered and business users, for both, you are going to use email ID or phone number, and of course your address also is required to be inputted while registering for these users. MCA FAQ says so that PAN is not mandatory for making a registered user or registering a registered user. Only it is compulsory for business user. However, from my practical understanding, we have tried to create some registered user. My practical understanding says PAN is also mandatory for registered user. So that means the FAQ is not in sync with the portal. So this one thing is going to be a challenge. If you are going to create any registered user, ensure that PAN is available for creating that user. You have to code the PAN, just code, not uploading or attaching any document. Company or LLP user, if you're registering for an LLP, you have to give LLP IN as the user name, and you have to associate any director designated partner. In that case, based on designated partner, in that case you are going to give DIN or DPIN of such designated partner whom you want to associate with that LLP. In case of this V3 portal, also universally available for companies, then these functionalities will come into picture: manager, company secretary, authorized representative. In those cases, since they do not have any unique registration number, definitely it will be general inputs only. I'm sure it is PAN based. Officer in default, again on the lines of manager, secretary, etc. Professional, now coming to the CAs and company secretaries, it will be membership number and linked with the respective professional institute. The unique feature of registering this business user now is 4 OTPs will be generated if the login is created on behalf of the entity or the LLP. 4 OTPs, 2 email OTPs, 2 mobile OTPs. That means 1 email and 1 mobile OTP to the LLP's credentials, and 1 email and mobile OTP to the associated designated partners credentials. For which means what? Earlier with 1 email ID, you used to associate an LLP with. Now the MCA will collect the data of the LLP with which is different from the data of the designated partner. That means 2 unique email IDs, 2 unique phone numbers, and 4 different OTPs will be generated at the time of registering for the business user for that LLP. Why I am saying business user specifically? Because going forward, registered user concept will be outdated. It will be redundant, except in cases that people only are going to file incorporation related stuff. Barring that, registered user ID is not going to be accessible for other functionalities. If it is registered user, only 2 OTPs will be generated, that is mobile OTP and email OTP to that individual, since it is only for individuals, for registered users. Now, how to update from registered user to business user? Generally, you are going to log in like you do as always. If I can share on the screen, I will try to do that. I hope all of the members can see the MCA page where I am now logged in as a registered user, the existing ID. So this is one of the dummy IDs that I've created. And if I go here, you can see I'm logged in as a registered user, which is as a professional, the current user ID registered for my firm. Now I go up there and do profile update. Right now, if I use this, I will not be able to file I'll not be able to file unless I migrate to the business user. So I'll have to go into the profile update tab, go up there and select edit against the registered user. Here I have to say business user. The moment I say business user, then it is going to ask me against what role. So if I'm registering as a business user, mandatory, I have to associate a designated partner. For example, in case of, let's say, Ranjan Associates, we are a professional firm. So I'll be selecting the professional and my details will be given there to update this particular user or business user now. So earlier it was a registered user, now it is business user, and you have to give the details of the one of the partners of that firm to be able to register as a business user. Once you give the basic details, and you have to use the save option here, and thereafter this particular business user will be created. Right now I'm not editing anything because it's only for demonstration purpose. So you use the save option once you give all the details this year. So as you have seen the same process, sign in as is. This is what you are doing right now. Your name, the firm name or your company name with whatever user ID you have registered, it will be displayed there. Select profile update as we have done. Select business user role and click on add role, that is the designated or the professional's details. Add those details and click on save. This is the same process that I have followed for registering the or migrating the registered user to business user. I'm now talking about the professional firm. In that case, we are going to use the professional as a associating criteria. Now, how to associate DSC? As of now, associating DSC concept was very easy. Just we have to go to the MCA services and say associate DSC and give some details there without logging in. Some fundamentals or basic details of the person whose digital signature we want to associate, we used to associate. We used to give an associate. Now, it's a little tedious process. You need mandatory unique business user of that LLP. For that LLP, whosoever a designated partner is coming into picture for filing this particular forms, use that particular DSC, person's DSC or designated partner's DSC, log in into the portal through the ID, go to the MCA services, go to FO services. Under that category, you will find associate DSC option. Now, for the first time, this is different from V2. For the first time, you have an option that you are going to, you have a mandatory requirement that you're going to download a WebSocket, DSC WebSocket and an mBridge. So this is automatically, once you click there, associate DSC, 3 options will be there. After that, you will find this download and install latest DSC WebSocket. Basically, these are the softwares for ensuring that your DSC is working properly when you try to associate the DSC. This has been one of the major concerns in the V2 portal. Associating DSC sometimes are very easy, though it does not require login. But even though the digital signature will not work because the software is either outdated or corrupted. Here it is very easy. You can directly download from there and directly you can associate directly. You can use those DSC drivers or softwares and associate the DSC. Once we install the drivers, give the basic details and click on associate DSC, select the DSC token. And that means whose DSC you want to register. Take that person's, the designated partner's name, because you're already logged in as per that LLP. That means in that LLP, you select one of the designated partner's name. The DSC will be activated. Now the password of that particular DSC will have to be input, and then click on the register. So this is the process. I will give a demo online of the same process again. As you can see, I am logged in as a registered user, and I'm trying to give the demo of the associate DSC concept. So that is available. This is under the new category FO services. There you will go, and this is the tab which is going to be clicked, associate DSC. Here you have to download the new token, the new drivers. Once you download that, you click on associate DSC. So here you will select that name, give the details of that certificate and the password of that particular professional or that particular designated partner. These simple three details, earlier it used to ask the first name, last name, maiden name. All those things have been done away with. Just select the digital signature or select the name of that person or DP, and the digital signature will automatically be popped in, and just input the password and say register. Automatically it will be registered. No further details will require to be given. I have a video where I'll now be demonstrating how to create the registered the business user. I'll be also trying to play the video plus audio. In case there is any difficulty, please do let me know. I think I would be requiring the right to share the video.
Start creating a login on MCN. For creating a login on MCN, first we need to register page. Will be redirected to page. Wherein you have two options as we have discussed earlier under the user category. One will be the registered user, another one will be the business user. Now first let us try and create registered user login. So when you click on the registered user login, you can select only as an individual role. Then after that, you need to enter your bank details. Then once you enter your bank details, click on the next icon and mention your personal details over here. Like the name, the date of birth, Select the professional role as in business person, others, professional, resort, salary, or suite. Then click on the next icon, where now you'll have to enter your contact details, your address, phone number. Then you need to enter the email ID. Once you have entered the entire contact details, then click on the next icon, where you have to create one password. And even you need to enter one quick question. You need to select whether you wish to avail the SMS facility or not. Once you are done with the entire details, you need to click on the Create My Account, wherein you will be redirected to the OTP page. Once you can enter the OTP received on your mobile number or email ID. Once you enter the OTP and then click on the Submit button, your registration will be created.
Members, just now what you have seen is the process for creating a user on the MCA. In the similar lines, you are also going to create for the business user, like we have created one for the registered user. Why we could not create for the business user is the typical problem, the MCA OTP. So I cannot create for, obviously, for a firm. I had to, because I already have one. Now I have to create for someone else. So we try to create for a client whose credentials are still not created, but we were mad with the technical difficulties. So the video was recorded, could not be recorded because the OTPs weren't coming up. So we had no other option but to just demonstrate to you the registered user on the same lines akin to that particular registered user. You have to create the business user. Just the difference is it will be, the username will be the LLP IN of that LLP. Now go back to sharing of the presentation. I can see some of the questions here. I would be, if all of you permit, I would be able to clear those questions at the end of the session when we have the Q&A. Now let's move to the preparation, saving and filing of web-based e-forms. So if you see the process in the heading itself, it's very clear. First, we need to prepare, then save, and then file. All of these are web, online. That means web-based e-forms. No form is going to be downloaded and then filed. It will be directly just a DSC, for the purpose of only DSC. It will be downloaded. DSC will be affixed. Again, it will be into the portal. Directly, it will be filed as a web-based form, not the one that we are doing presently. So how this functionality right now is functioning, 345, form 345, form 3 is basically change in the 3 and 4 is the change in the partners of the LLP. 5 is the change of the name. These all forms can be filed either as linked forms or as standalone. So if you need to file for the resignation, form 3, the moment you say there is also an appointment, automatically, without you downloading another form, form 4 will be created. If you also say you want to change the name of the LLP, by clicking one button, automatically the form 5 will be added. So it is whatever fields you choose, the form size will elongate. Further fields will be activated, which is a very good concept compared to the earlier regime, where we have to individually download form 3, form 4, form 5, and then file it as a linked forms. Rather than that, we select whatever functionality we want, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, whatever we require. As the selection is made, the forms are further, the fields are further activated, new forms are added. That goes with 9, 17 and 18 also. So now form 9, which is the consent of the designated partner, is also online. That means earlier when we used to do the incorporation of the LLP, we used to attach those as a physical signed form. Now you did not do that. If that person is having DPIN, if the designated partner is having DPIN already, directly attach that, directly fill those details and attach as a form 9. No need to take the physical signature and attach the scan copy. As I was telling you, the intent of the MCA is to do away with this PDF thing, to do away with the scanned documents. Everything should be system readable. PDFs are not system readable. Even if so, they are marred with a lot of difficulties in reading. System errors are made. Hence, now with everything getting digital, system readable forms are prepared. So even form 9 tomorrow, when you do the incorporation of LLP, the consents are also digitally attached to the Philip form in form 9. Form 17 and 18 again are linked with the Philip. So if there is a conversion of firm into LLP, a company into LLP, that will also be integrated with Philip, which is a very good thing. Earlier, all these forms, as I was saying, are different from each other. Every time you have to download, fill the data, repeated data has to be inputted. Here, the advantage is obviously it's too early. The errors that we are facing are too naive, too basic. Even we cannot even thinking of form 17, form 18 at this particular juncture. But as a speaker, it is my duty to highlight even going further, not just get stuck at the problems that we are facing. However, the good unique feature is, if those starting problems that we are seeing today are settled down, unique features that linking of the forms, auto enabling of the tabs. The moment you select appointment, automatically appointment related form comes. You select cessation related form crops up. That way, this easiness in filing will be felt to us going forward eventually. I hope so that initial problems that we are facing gets away soon, maybe before this month end, all this problem gets settled down. Another unique feature of V3 is, till now, I'm sure these questions would have been there in your mind also, that for a company, when we do the incorporation, PAN and TAN is coming along with, the numbers are coming along with the certificate of incorporation. That has not been the case with the LLPs. Now, under this V3, we are going to get the PAN and TAN integration, the specific details at the time of filing Philip we have to give, like we are giving for the company, to enable MCA to generate PAN and TAN. This is in line with the government's vision of ensuring that ease of doing business rankings are improvised, the basic fundamental registrations that you need to start a business, the turnaround time to start a business is reduced. So with that intent, they have done that, and it's a very good thing. For a company, you can still afford to wait, but for an LLP, which is probably for small businesses compared to a company, I think it's a good move to have PAN and TAN integration as well for the LLPs. Form 28 and 29 and merged into one form, which is basically for the foreign LLPs. Integration with the trademark authority for name check facility in run form. Till now, whenever you used to file the name application, we just used to check that, okay, there is this is the name, and there used to be one confirmation that no name is matching. However, after applying, we are going to get some queries saying that this particular name is conflicting with so and so trademark. That problem is not going to come now. Whatever they are able to see, whatever conflicts the backend office is able to see in trademarks, in the company name, LLP names, all those conflicts will be prompted at the filing, at the instance of the filing at our end also, which is a very good thing. This brings in a lot of transparency. I'm sure as professionals you have faced a lot of difficulty and even sometimes the harassment that certain name is stuck in the trademark department, or we are not able to explain that there is no such conflict, but there is technically a conflict at the back end. That you will come to know at the initial stage itself. That means there is time saving, there is more professionalism in our functioning. We can tell the clients in advance that we are going to get this name or not going to get this name. I think this brings in a lot of professionalism in the corporate functioning also, because many a times you see that corporates, the companies or the LLPs, they first register their website without even registering the company name because or LLP name, because they believe that will take its own time. Meanwhile, whatever I have searched online, that trade name or that website name I want to block. Something like that is going to happen with LLP name registrations also. Similar functionality. That means the businessmen are at ease to choose their name and to do a course correction in case that name is not available. Sometimes that is too late because many of the conflicts will be arising at the back end. It will take its own sweet time to resolve. That is something which is a very unique feature of the LLP run form here in the new V3 regime. So the new regime is like this: upload, input all the data online. Once the form is completely filled, if something is requiring pre-fill, it will automatically come. However, one thing I have observed that the speed at which pre-fill is coming is very slow. That means even if you give the, for example, you're filing a form 3-4, when you file form 3, and if you say I want to add for appointment, you want to file for form 4, or you want to do change of name form 5. If you select that option, it will take its own sweet time to generate those forms. So I think it's maybe a starting problem, but if it happens quickly, it actually serves the purpose. Otherwise, right now that slowness in the portal definitely is a some kind of a fading away of the fanfare with which the MCA launched this V3 portal. So now this is the process. This is the new filing process for all web-based forms. I could not generate the video for this. We will have to rely on this slide itself. The reason being the OTPs are not coming. I have been trying for last 4-5 days, almost in the time I got the invite from the chapter or from the branch that the session is to be taken. I wanted to make it very lively. I wanted to put as many as videos as possible. Thanks to MCA portal malfunctioning, we are not able to try and get a video because that is possible only if I use the LLP's login ID. That means I need to take the help of my client even to produce a video before all of you. I need to take the help of a unique, genuine LLP business user, try to genuinely file some forms for them. So this is the process for the web-based e-forms. I'll show one demonstration for the run, but for now I'm just giving you the general picture for all kinds of web-based forms for LLP. As we log in on the MCA, we go to My Applications. Thereafter, there will be an e-filings tab. We need to select in the drop-down what kind of form we need to file, and then we need to enter all the data that whatever that form is asking. For example, if you are filling form 3 and form 4 for amendment in the partnership deed and change in the partners, resignation and appointment, then enter all the data relating to that particular 3 and 4. Select the right buttons. If you don't select that, you also need to do appointment, then that appointment related fields will not get activated. Only resignation related fields will get activated if you have chosen resignation. So the right fields need to be selected, opted, so that right fields are open and you can give that input. Otherwise, you are going to face technical issue. Why I'm saying that? If once this form is created, you cannot create a duplicate. There is no possibility of shunning this form and trying to create one more form when you made a mistake. That means if MCA portal does not support, if we do not fill the data properly or give the right options properly, whatever form we have filled up till now, those are stuck. You cannot prepare a fresh form. You will have to find ways and means to select the right options, correct the mistakes in the form, make it thoroughly checked again, ensure that there is no issue in the form or in the data, then click on save. Till we do that, we are never going to go ahead and do the filing, and there is no possibility, as of now what I checked, there is no possibility for deleting whatever drafts that we have created. If you see the trademarks portal, there is a possibility of discarding the drafts. I think a similar functionality should come into the V3 also, where we want to start afresh. We want to select the right buttons in the beginning itself, because a lot of our work will be done by interns, juniors. Mistakes are bound to happen. A lot of grunt work is there. Missings are common. I think there should be such option to enter the data again or afresh, or maybe discard that form completely. So if at all we are able to complete the data filling, click on save and then click on submit. Now you are seeing why I am submitting. Where is the digital signature? That is the biggest difference between V2 and V3. After submitting, an SRN will be generated. Once that is done, download that PDF version, download that form as a .pdf file. Now, wherever you need to affix the DSC, we are going to affix the DSC. Log in again, go to the My Application, select that Upload eForms tab, go and submit this form. Again, you will need to go for the payments page. So this is the process. And the main difference is everything is on web. There is no download option unless until all the data is inputted on the portal, and MCA also will pre-scrutinize automatically. And if no errors are found, then only the click on submit will function and SRN will be generated. That means mistake, if it is there, and if it is already counter checked by MCA through some other filing, for example, date of resignation, what we are writing is different from some earlier date already given in some previous filings, then this particular form will not be filed till you correct that. So that means our work is cross-checked. Our work will get easier as things go smooth tomorrow. Things will definitely get easier because interconnecting or pre-scrutinizing with earlier database historically is possible now in this particular web-based forms. Earlier also there was from pre-fill concept. Earlier also there were some technical dates that used to be cross-checked, but that was very, very rare. It was only in some instances. Now this is going to be a universal phenomena throughout the forms, all the forms. So I will go give a demonstration of, I'll play a video which will be of the run application.
In the last video, we have seen how to create a registered user on Excel. Now, let us log in and try and find LLP forms. Firstly, you need to enter the username that you have created. For LLPs, the username will generally be the LLP ID number of the LLP. Then the password will be the one that you have entered while creating the login. Then you need to click on login for LLP files. You'll be redirected to this page. This is the new interface of NCA, wherein there is one addition to the existing tab, that is My Applications. Basically, My Application provides the history of all the forms filed or pending, whatever might be the status, the entire status will reflect over here. Now, if you wish to file Run LLP, you need to go to NCA Services, then LLP e-filing. These are the various web-based forms that you can file using NCA new portal. But or you can file only Run LLP and fill it using an individual registered login. If you need to file any form from Form 3 to Form 32, then you need to have a business user for that. Now, let us try and file Run LLP and reserve a name. This is a new web-based form for reserving a name. This is quite similar to the Run application that we use for company name reservation. So you need to select the purpose for which you are filing the Run application. It can be for the new incorporation or conversion of the firm into LLP or conversion of private company to LLP, or it can be change of name. So now let us try for the new incorporation. So basically, that is 2A and 2B will be applicable only if you select conversion or change of name. If you are selecting new incorporation, you will directly be redirected to the NIC code. Depending upon the business activities, there are n number of NIC codes available. So there is one such option also available wherein you can search depending on your business category. I have selected profession over here, that is 74909. Then we need to enter the proposed name that we wish to apply for. Here it's mandatory that you affix LLP to your name. Once you are done with mentioning your proposed name, if your name is similar or resembling to the existing name, like if you have another company which is giving its name, brand name, to be used for the proposed LLP. So for that, you will put one board resolution and an NOC from the body corporate stating that they have no objection for you to use this name. So those type of documents you can attach as an attachment to this e-based form. Once you're done with the attachment, you need to compulsorily click on auto check the form. Without this, you will not be able to proceed further with the form filing. So my proposal is this. So it has shown you that my name is similar to these many companies or existing LLPs. But it even shows the name similar alerts, trademark similarities alerts, and the status of the trademark application and the class under which it is registered. So earlier, this type of facility was not provided by NCA, wherein you manually had to visit trademark site and search for the similar names. But now, with the new web-based forms, everything can be searched in this one particular tab itself. Even then, if you wish to proceed further, then you can go and save the form. It will show a pop-up stating that your data has been saved successfully. Unless you save it, you will not be able to proceed further with the submissions. Once you have saved it, you can click on the submit icon. Once you click on the submit icon, there will be a pop-up wherein you'll have two options. One is you can proceed further with the payment, or else you can cancel if you have realized that you have made some error, or if you do not wish to proceed from making the payment at the very moment, then you can cancel it. Just fill the form. The form that you have saved will be appeared over here. The status of the form will be draft pending for submission because you have not made the payment. When you have saved a draft, you have an option of edit. So you can click on the edit option. The details that you have already saved will appear on the screen. Again, you need to save the details. You need to go to the auto check the form. Unless you auto check, you will not be able to submit it. So it has again shown the similar name available. Then we need to on the save icon, then proceed further with the submit. Again the same pop-up, but now we'll select the submit application for name reservation and then continue further. Once you select that, you'll be redirected to the payment page, wherein you need to proceed with the make payment. So there are two modes of payment. One is online mode and another one is offline mode. Depending upon your requirement, you can select the mode of payment. Once you click on the offline payment can also happen through NEFT, or you can visit the branch and deposit. So we will now proceed. Once you click on the proceed icon, you will automatically be directed to Bharat Post website. You will need to create a username and password on the Bharat Post website to proceed further.
As we have seen, the best part of the portal, V3 portal, is that the major concern that all of us had earlier is relating to the name reservations, and that is a very big takeaway, that you are now able to see the very list which the backend portal of the MCA used to show those officers who are rejecting our names. I think this alone is a very big step towards the ease of doing business. A lot of projects get stuck up because of the name reservations, because we don't have any clarity whether we'll get that name or not. And now in the entire process, we are getting the full list of what are the definitely not registerable names, or some alert is given, or some other list is also given which is generally possible similar names. So that's a very commendable step by MCA to give us so much of transparent data on those trademarks, on which earlier, last almost 5-6 years, we have been getting a lot of issues with while company registrations or LLP registrations when the name is concerned. So I think it's a very big step in that direction for bringing a lot of transparency in the government functioning, and welcome step. So as I said earlier, I could, whatever is possible at my end, see the entire process being recorded and provided in this platform. However, since the OTPs weren't possible to be generated at my for one of my clients whom I wanted to do practically one filing, record everything and present before this August gathering, obviously we have to be happy with only the theoretical or the tabs that you are seeing on the screen. That process itself is right now available process with me. Otherwise, definitely like what we have seen in case of run end-to-end process, I would have definitely recorded and produced, so that we will also in the process see what are the hitches, what are the problems that you are facing while doing the other filings like form 3 and 4. I wanted to do desperately, but unfortunately with the MCA not functioning, it could not happen. Even as later as today 4 p.m. I was trying to do that, but we are all helpless there. Now it's also important to know what are the new lingos that have come in into the V3 portal. New terminologies have come. What are those? So earlier the terminologies for status of the forms that we find were little different. Here it is this five basically. Draft pending submission. If you see the video that just now which I have shared, in that it was showing draft oblique pending payment. So here you are seeing draft oblique pending submission. This is when you create a form, but you have not proceeded till SRN creation. You have just prepared and kept ready. Maybe some senior wants to see, maybe the client wants to approve, whatever be the stage. That is the stage where we need to do all those things. So draft, keep ready, and we can at that stage edit the form again. So as we have seen just now, when we are editing again, there will be some checks and balances, maybe some repetition here and there, but all other data will always be available permanently. Now coming to next step, once this draft is confirmed and SRN is generated, you are going to now go ahead for affixing of DSC. So that will happen when you download that form, whatever you have generated as a PDF, download and affix the DSC, then go and upload. So when you then try to upload, it will show pending for payment, where DSC is affixed successfully, uploaded, but payment has not been made. So that till you make the payment, that will show pending for payment. Though generally once that is done, we will have 7 days of time to make the payment. Next stage is once the form is filed, maybe payment has been made, that approved status, if the form has been approved by the authority. If the form is put up for resubmission, it will be showing resubmission required or sent for resubmission. So these are the new lingos, new terminologies under the V3 portal, which were not there in the earlier or existing V2 regime. Now coming to payment options. Earlier there were very limited payment options available in MCA. Over a period of time, some payment options got added up. With the passage of time, as India has taken over as the world's biggest, what do you say, the number of transaction wise, if you see the UPI transaction, India is leading in the world. And with that intent, the MCA also thought that there should be an option to make UPI oriented payments as well. So what they did, they simply reconnected it with Bharat Kosh portal. So Bharat Kosh is that portal where all the payments can be made through various different banks. All the banks are registered in that portal. So this helps us, or this helps MCA to avoid duplicacy. Directly they are linked to Bharat Kosh. So once you are done with all the drafting of the form and other processes, the moment you say pay fee, it will redirect you to Bharat Kosh portal, as you have seen in the video at the fag end of it. The Bharat Kosh portal will ask you your login details, login, and then it will ask you to select those particular bank where you need to make the payment, through which you need to make the payment. That integration is very beneficial because now you can do even NEFT, RTGS, and UPI transactions through this portal. Advantage is the number of payment gateways. Earlier 4, 5, 7 banks were available. Today there are, the list is big. I can't even count. As many banks are available to make the payment, which means more flexibility in operations, which means more ease for the professionals. Otherwise, if there are only few selected payment gateways, we always have to make the payment. As professional, we should always try to avoid that, but then sometimes we do have to do the payment and then keep on asking for that from our client. Instead, just do the connect with the Bharat Kosh. Maybe we can do tell the client or direct the client to complete through whatever they are comfortable with. They want to do NEFT, RTGS, UPI, net banking, challan, credit card, debit card, whatever option they want to select directly, it can be done, which is a very good feature in this Bharat Kosh portal. So this enabling with the V3 portal is also one of the ways in which professional burden will come down, in my view. So these are the options in simple terms. So while we were seeing the Bharat Kosh advantages there in that screen, here in simple line, online you have credit card, debit card, UPI, internet banking. Offline you have option to pay at the bank, or you can through NEFT or RTGS make the portal. The website is bharatkosh.gov.in, or the portal rather is bharatkosh.gov.in. At that portal, these payments have to be made. While these are the practical sides of, I mean, theoretical sides of all the filing of the forms, creation of user IDs, now I'm coming to that part of the topic which probably all of you are interested in, basically how to resolve certain key issues, certain trivial issues that you are facing or all of us are facing. Even though I'm speaker, I'm sure it is the same problem with each one of us, whether we are 20 years in the practice or 2 years in the practice. These problems are universal and again unique to so many people. Whatever I am facing, if I call to my other fellow professionals and say they are not facing those problems, they are facing something else, that means as many people are as many problems. Hence MCA came up with some FAQs. There are many FAQs here, but I will deal with which are only more relevant to the professionals here. So I'll go to the other file where we are talking about FAQs on Form 11. Since I've got the input from the branch also that Form 11 is something that is a pressing topic right now, and members would like to know more about it. I think I would like to open the Form 11 FAQs that were released by MCA. I hope the members are able to see on screen the updated FAQ Form 11. Form 11, Philip. This one typical problem that we have been seeing is the total contribution received from all the partners of the LLP is a disabled field. How to fill this information? This is one thing which I think majority of the professionals were raising queries with MCA. MCA did come out with their view. They are saying that this is a pre-fill tab. You are not supposed to fill anything. But then the question arises why it is not getting activated. It is not getting activated because unless we give the LLP credentials, it will not get activated. Because how to get the pre-fill? So when the form is opened, this will look like it is a filling up a form. The moment you give the credentials of the LLP, these forms will turn this light blue or gray. The tabs will be gray and background will be light blue. This way, this means that all these details are pre-captured by MCA. We did not do anything. So just what we have to ensure that the LLP IN is given at the beginning, then it will be ensuring that the pre-fill of the database happens with respect to the total contribution received from all the partners of the LLP. Same is the problem with financial year beginning and end, that will also get automatically captured the moment you give the LLPIN database. This one error also many of us faced. The revised filing of annual return is allowed only once for a financial year. Please note that once a form is filed, you could not file the form right now. That is the status. Now here in the new V3 portal, these are the reasons. If they're in your case, if these three are the reasons, then you cannot file the form 11 again. That means if the form is filed already, you cannot file the form again. If there is a form prepared, which is already drafted, just pending for DSC upload and payment, again that form 11 will not be able to be filed. Or it is drafted, even DSC is uploaded, but payment has not been made. In that case also, this form 11 will not be filed again, or will not be try to be completed. The process will not be completed. This error will definitely show. That means check whether these three reasons are there in your case or not. If so, then we have to ensure that these errors are taken care of, and then only we can do the filing. Now, with respect to the filling up of Philip form, the proposed designated partner. So there is one query. I am filling a Philip form, but the proposed designated partners do not have DPIN. In case there is no DPIN, how do I file the web-based? So web-based is possible only when there is DPIN. Otherwise, there is not possible. So there was a query. How do I file the consent of the designated partners if it is not the partner, designated partner is not having DPIN? In that case, so now form 9 is a linked form with Philip. So consent, earlier you were attaching with the form. Now it is a e-form, it is a web form along with the Philip itself. So you have to attach that form for all those partners who are having DPINs. Obviously, their details will be inserted automatically. The moment you give DPIN, pre-fill will happen and data will be already taken care of. In case people are, or the designated partners are not having DPIN, then please attach physically signed consent in form 9 as an optional attachment in Philip. So the format of form 9, whatever it is there, in that you take the physical document and attach in Philip. However, a dummy form 9 will definitely be attached with the which is going to have all the blank details with the name of the designated partner in the form 11. So this is a troubleshoot given by the MCA with respect to when we are incorporating the LLP, where designated partners consents are to be uploaded without going through the form 9 process for persons who are not having DPI. This is the process that we need to follow. This is a very generic thing. I'm sure all of us are already having enough understanding of how to reset a forget password. But then the most important point here is, in case of 3 continuous unsuccessful attempts of login by providing wrong password, user ID of the user will be logged and user will not be able to log in. In such cases, please click on forgot password and change the password to login. Earlier it was blocked perennially. Now forgot password, if you do and you change the password, you can still log in. Practically, situation might still be different, I believe, though they are saying that you change the password. That option will also not come certain times. So now I go to some other FAQs which are issued by the MCA, which are not relating to some specific form, but are general to the portal, usage of portal. Since all of us here are chartered accountants in gathering, the first question that I have put here is, these are the Q questions and answers. So these are picked up from MCA. These are not my own. I am a CA in professional role. Can I also have a director role? That means a chartered accountant is there as a practitioner and as a director. Can I have the same user ID? Question number one. The answer is no. You cannot have multiple roles under the same user ID. However, a user can add multiple roles to a profile. That means you can have one profile, but you have to make some efforts to add one more role. That means if you have a profile, single profile, in that single profile, you add one more role as a director if you are already registered as a professional. So this is the simple thing. Do not try to create another profile in the same profile, because the moment you try to create another profile, it will say these particular credentials are already registered with MCA, and you will be under impression that I am not able to file through the original profile, neither I am not able to create the new profile. The solution to that is very clear. Add a role. Role means, as we have seen in the initial stages of our discussion, role means as a professional, as a director, as a secretary. These are the roles. So you select the right roles. If you are two roles, select two roles and register in that profile. Is it mandatory to have a user ID for affixing a DSC? Yes, I think I have stated earlier also. Users are now required to associate DSC only when they are having a user ID. If you do not have a registered or a business user ID, you will not be able to associate a DSC with MCA portal as against what it was earlier. How can a registered user file a Philip form which requires DSC affixing? A registered user can associate his DSC using his PAN. So you do not require a DSC for registration. In case you are a registered user associating with using your PAN, you can do that. How long is a session valid? Once you log in into the portal, the session will be expiring after 5 minutes of inactivity. Again, they are all in theory. These are on the MCA portal as a FAQ, but practically even earlier, the sessions are getting expired as things stand today. Can a different login be used for filing of Philip and reservation of name? So I'll tell you the practical stuff. So for example, you are filing a name application through, let's say, as your own login as a professional. Thereafter, you create one more registered user for in the name of the director or the promoter or the proposed designated partner, that is the client. And from there, if you want to file the incorporation, so name is filed through the professionals portal, but incorporation wants to be completed from some other login ID of the portal. That is not possible. Wherever you have used the credentials for reservation of name, those credentials only will now be used for the Philip as well. It cannot be separate. Like I have discussed in case of Form 11, the simple problem here in Form 3 and 4 also many people are facing is they are trying to file Form 3 and Form 4 simultaneously, I think. And if one Form 3 and Form 4 is prepared and pending and the payment has not been made, then another Form 3 and Form 4 is not able to be filled up. So that is the problem we are facing. That means you need to complete one Form 3 and Form 4 process completely and then move on to the another in case of there is a change in management in an LLP and there are many in and out that is happening in that LLP. What is the size limit for documents and certificates to be attached? This is difference between the earlier version and this version. Earlier, you had a outer limit for the form. There was no limit for each attachment. For first time, MCA bring in a outer limit for each attachment, which is 2 MB. And the overall size of the form shall not exceed 10 MB. So there is little relaxation from 6 MB to 10 MB. We have moved. So this is one welcome move in this particular V3 portal. Which bank do I need to deposit the fees or money if I select offline payment mode? If you have not selected any bank at the time of transaction and wanted to do it as an offline payment, then the transaction could be done through any nationalized Indian bank. How to attach DSC? So once, as I told you, the process of the web-based forms is like this. You fill everything. Once we fill everything, we download that form that is in .pdf form. You open that form and you have to attach the DSC. At this stage, you have to attach the DSC. Please ensure that Embridge, that the software or the drivers that are required to associate DSC or attach DSC are same. Embridge, which is available, I have showed that presentation also there. It is very clearly available on the FO portal. There you can go and download the Embridge drivers, and once those drivers are installed, you will be able to attach the DSC. PDF must be opened in Adobe Acrobat Reader. A user should configure digital IDs or install the system. That means that particular DSC should be installed in the system or attached to the system, and associating DSC should have been completed to ensure that this process is completed without any hitch. So DSC is associated and DSC is now affixed to the form. Then you can go and upload the form. At which stage of filing or availing any service am I required to make the payment? Again, this is in scant difference to earlier regime. Earlier, we used to download the form, fill up the form, attach everything, then check form, pre-scrutiny, put the DSC of the client, put the DSC of the professional wherever required. And once the uploading is done, thereafter SRN is created. So DSC was fixed first, uploading was done next, then SRN was generated. Now it is different. The moment we fill the data and we are okay with the data and say submit, SRN will be generated. The DSC affixation is a next activity. So difference is SRN first, DSC next, compared to the earlier process where it was opposite. What is the timeline to complete the offline payment process? So you link the UTN number to the UTR number on the NTRP portal within 7 days if it is offline payment process, or 2 days after the due date, whichever is earlier of the challan or deposit slip generation. So 7 days time limit is universal now for all the offline payments. Why these 2 days? Always in advance you do for the processing of that particular payment. I think we have already dealt with this point in the FAQs, which were specifically for Form 11. So I will not like to repeat these points here. And I think the points which we have discussed are the same. So I would like to end the FAQs and also end my session here. And now the floor is open for the questions. I'm trying to keep more time because I know actually that is the moment everyone is waiting here. So wanted to keep my presentation as succinct as possible.
Sir, question answers will be there, sir, in question answers section.
Yeah. So should I open now the?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Please.
The first question that I'm seeing on the screen is from
Sir, do you want me to read as the question, Rahulji, for you? And because question will not be visible to all the audience. So if I'll just read out the question for you, you can like solve it, or you can give your suggestions. Ravi, my voice is audible, huh?
Yes, audible.
Okay. Rahulji, any connectivity issue at your end?
I think most of the questions might have been already answered. I think Rahul is connecting.
Rahulji.
Cut off.
I'll talk to him.
Please call him. He's speaking, but he is not audible. Hello, Rahul sir.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
now
audible.
Hello.
Yeah, Rahulji, you're audible.
I was showing error message from Zoom. I was showing an error message from Zoom that some recording time limit has completed. I don't know. So I was logged out.
Okay. Sir, you want me to read out the question, because questions will not be available to other audience. I'll just read out the question one by one. You can just say whatever the answer you want.
Yeah.
First question, sir, is from Mankena Rojashri. In Form 11, in summary of designated partners, number of partners automatically get reflected in either on foreign companies column or LLP, but not in individual column, where the partners are individuals. But not in individual, where the partners are individuals. Rahulji, are you able to listen to us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to. Hello.
Yeah, Rahulji.
Deepak ji, I don't know if I was audible to you earlier. Request the questions to be read. Can I request the questions to be read?
In case of first question is from Mankena Rojashri. She is asking in Form 11, in summary of designated partners, point, number of partners get automatically reflected either in on foreign company column or LLP column, but not in individuals column, where the partner are individuals. She is trying to say that number of partners data gets automatically filled in case of non-individual partners, but in case of individual partners is not getting filled. What could be the reason for that?
I think the reason is portal related reason only. It is not able to fetch the data. So we will have to probably raise a ticket or a complaint. That's the only reason. Otherwise, there is no chance to have that kind of an error.
Okay. The next question is from Jyoti Singhi. Sir, when we are trying to migrate to business user, it is giving an error that another login already exists with this PAN and membership number. I don't have any other login. How do I disable the other login?
It is automatically disabled after 60 days. If you have not used any MCA user ID for 60 days, it is automatically disabled. So if in the last 60 days you have not created any, I'm sure that much we can recollect. In the last 60 days, if you have not created any user ID, then it is a problem of the MCA that it is showing you that error. Otherwise, if earlier the user ID is created, multiple user IDs everyone has, but those are all have become defunct. Now they will not be in vogue. So you need not worry. You go ahead with creation. If you have created 5 years back, even though That will not be of any problem to you today. Only problem is last 60 days. If you have created in last 60 days, then you will have to wait to update that profile.
Okay. The next question is from Badrinath and Shweta, also the same. The Form 3 data is not getting submitted in new portal and the pre-fill option is not working in Form 11 properly. What could be the reason?
Almost 90% of the cases are of these reasons only, where we are seeing that Form 3 is filled up, Form 4 is not able to be linked with Form 3. And when it comes to Form 11 also, the data is not getting captured. I'm saying we need to be patient. The data is getting captured even sometimes after 3, 4, 5 minutes. The only problem is the session is getting timed out. So in case of Form 11, I would like to talk about that first. In case of Form 11, the moment we give LLP IN, the data should actually get pre-filled wherever it should be. Once that data gets pre-filled only, it makes sense for you to write the further details. Otherwise, it might create some other trouble. So wait patiently for the pre-filled data to be captured first and then start typing our data. That will ease out the process.
Okay. So the next question is from Badrinath sir again. Sir, what are the LLP incorporation only forms which are active and working on V3 portal, or there are any other portals also being made live on V3?
LLP is incorporated or incorporation of LLP. This is the question, if I can understand.
Yeah, basically they are asking only the incorporation forms are active now, or all the forms on relating to LLP are active on V3 portal?
Okay. You can.
Sir, you can off your video.
I have covered 3 things are active right now.
Rahul sir, you can off your
what I'm trying to say here is, there are 3 functionalities right now on the LLP portal already available. Almost all, we can say these 3 are associating DSC, the role creations, the user ID creations, and filing of the forms. That means everything has been migrated to LLP V3. Okay. It is fully functional.
Okay. So the next question is from Naveen P. Sir is asking, what are the uses of creating professional logins where all the LLP funds filings are done by LLP logins or TP logins? Then why we should be creating LLP basically professional logins?
Deepak ji, I'm sorry, you need to repeat your question. Your voice is feeble.
Now the new introduced method is same like income tax department, that all filings will be done for the SSCs or the companies or LLP respective login IDs, right? So what is the use of professional login is sir wants to understand.
Okay. So if, for example, if you're incorporating a new LLP, that LLP will not have any business registration till it gets formed. So the professional login will be used to do this kind of filing, and basic associating DSC related stuff you can do through your professional ID. Otherwise, if an LLP is already formed, definitely professional ID is not going to be used. The respective ID is going to be used. So you can say in simple terms, for incorporation is your professional ID.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is from Srinath Kopu, sir. Sir is saying we have one form filled in the version 2 and ROC have asked us for resubmission on version 3 portal. Now we are not able to use the same SRN and resubmit in version 3. Can you please guide?
So you can understand that you have done some name application under the old regime. However, the Philip you are going to file under the new regime. It's a resubmission case, but you are not able to do because the SRN is deactivated.
Okay.
The SRN is deactivated, which was under old regime. You will have to file a fresh application. That is what is my understanding.
Okay. Okay. So basically, in case of resubmission, if the form is valid, will the version 3 will not take the old version 2 form, sir?
No, it will not take.
Again, whatever the payment of fees you've done already?
That you need to seek that you need to seek a clarity from the MCA. Maybe
Okay.
they will give a way out on that.
Okay. Okay. So the next question from Gopal Krishnan sir. For FY 21-22 Form 11, do we need to file from LLP ID or professional ID?
Professional ID will not be able to use. It is only company ID or LLP ID. Right now, LLP is only in B3. LLP ID, which will be used for filing Form 11.
Okay. Then next question. Name is
See,
not
Deepak ji, I'll add one point there. Many people are having this doubt. It's very simple. Whatever entity you are logged in, the pre-fill will come of that entity only. So if you are logged in as a professional, only you can do run and Philip right now as things stand today, nothing else. So if you are, for example, if you want to file Form 11, what data you need to get in the Form 11? It is of that particular LLP only. Hence, you have no other option other than to create the LLP's unique business user registration.
Okay. So the next question, name is not that we have applied for LLP name through the existing login credential using for V2 portal. Later, we have changed user ID for V3 portal and trying to file the Philip form, but we are getting the error message like same user ID.
So you have already registered one in the V2, and with the same name you are trying to register another one in the V3. If the PAN is same, it will not take two registrations. You will have to wait for 60 days or surrender the old one. You can log in and surrender the old registration of V2.
Okay. The next questions are a couple of questions from Harish sir, saying the digitally signed documents were sufficient instead of manual sign of directors. The intention of the government is observed with the proper testing, and they have made it available to the users. And we are spending the professional times. Very true, sir. That is the practice the government follows. We have observed through income tax portal also that without proper testing, and literally last year our life was made miserable. So I think this year with NCA portal, this has been done. I think we have to try, test, and succeed until we get success.
Sir, they wanted even the company secretaries to understand the pain of chartered accountants, what you have gone through in the income tax and GST.
Right. Correct. Sir, Form 3 is filed in version 2 with hefty penalty of fees, and it is asked to resubmit in V3 and could not submit it, and the challan got expired. Raised ticket in MCA, but no resolution. How to get the refund?
Deepak ji, I'm sorry, you need to repeat the question.
Sir, Form 3 is filed in version 2, a lot of penalty or late fees, and it has asked to resubmit in version 3. But they could not submit it, and the challan got expired. They have raised a ticket in MCA, but no resolution as of now. How to get the refund of it?
Oh, this is a very sensitive subject because this late filing of Form 3 is, it's dealt with very strictly by the MCA. I'm not sure. I do not have a very concrete answer on that because I also faced one typical issue where due to the MCA's problem, my client had to bear 75,000 penalty, and we tried every bit to fight out, but ultimately MCA won, even though it was not V2V case.
Sir, audio.
So the resubmission error never came to my client. So the problem in our case is the resubmission error mail or status got never changed on the portal. It was always showing us approved. Only after, I don't know, sometime in mistake, what happens is old emails come from the MCA. After 2 years, 3 years, suddenly some resubmission errors comes after 2 years from MCA. In that mail, we came to know that that form was under resubmission firstly, and then subsequently got rejected because we could not resubmit. This happened, this email coming after 2 years, it happened of submitting the Form 3 of the LLP. So this is a very big problem. We explained to the MCA, but we could not convince them. They said, you should have raised the query then and there. Why didn't you write to us within 30 days? It is now the ball is again in us, our court only. Finally, client paid 70 or 80,000 odd penalty. and they have filed the Form 3. That is when I'm saying when there was no V2, V3 issue. In this current issue, again, I'm sure government will shun their responsibility and it will be left to the professionals and clients to handle it.
Okay. So the whether contribution means initial capital or latest capital as per form in the balance sheet as per Form 11. What amount we should enter there?
Very good point. So if there is a change, you will have to write the changed cap. You will have to make the change in the capital first by filing the Form 3. Then only your capital will change. Till that time, pre-fill, by pre-fill, only the Form 11 will give you the data which is registered with MCA.
Okay.
If you don't change the capital contribution, it will show whatever is already existing in the last Form 11. As simple as that.
Sir, one question, I'm sure you will not have the answer on that question. Any extension on Form 11 expected?
As a professional, we should not venture into that. And I think government does not want us to do that. As the flag bearers of corporate world, we have seen income tax issues, GST and portal issues, and now we are seeing MC issues. So it is always the professionals who will help the government, but they will always face the brickbacks also from the government. So I think we will have to hold on to our nerves till the last minute.
Okay, sir. Over session. Over to you, Secretary. The questions are over.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, Rahul sir, for explaining all the problems very lucidly and giving an extraordinary presentation. Now I request Deepak Ladda sir, Chairman of the Hyderabad branch, to give closing remarks of these 2 day sessions.
Thank you, Secretary sir. It was wonderful session coming to an end. I know the efforts what you have been putting in the last 2 weeks to prepare the presentations or the videos, the probable questions, the probable answers. Definitely salute to you and hats off for all your sincere efforts in giving the best in the 2 hours. I'm very thankful on behalf of Managing Committee and all of our Hyderabad branch members and all the attendees for your excellent presentation, sir. And friends, this YouTube link will be given on the Hyderabad branch official YouTube channel, and also on the website. The link for the PPT will also be given. The members can again read it whenever they face similar issues, and for the answers for the presentations of CS Rahul Jain sir. Thank you, Rahul sir. Santosh, can I request you to please present a certificate, virtual certificate to sir? Sir, a small token of appreciation on behalf of Managing Committee for your efforts and contribution in addressing on such an important and burning topic on the LLP. With this, our 2 day sessions comes to end. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all the attendees on behalf of the Managing Committee, on both the speakers, Pawan sir and today Rahul Jain sir. Over to you, Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman sir, for giving your closing remarks. My sincere thanks for the yesterday's speaker Pawan Kumar sir and today's speaker Rahul Jain sir for giving their extraordinary presentations and explaining the latest concepts very lucidly. And now, before we close the 2 day sessions formally, I would like to announce future programs of the Hyderabad branch, which are lined up in this month. Day after tomorrow, 20th May, Friday, we have a 2 hours program, physical program in the branch, issues in taxation of salaries and ETDS returns by CA Pankaj Kumar Trivedi sir, our past chairman. Issues in taxation of salaries and ETDS on 20th Friday. And very next day, Saturday, 21st May, we have an important program by CA Ganesh Balakrishnan sir on important changes in Schedule 3 and CARO 2020 and auditors' responsibilities. So this is on 21st Saturday, 4 to 7 p.m. Then we have 2 more Zoom programs, virtual programs on 24th and 26th. 24th, we have do's and don'ts, do nots in cyber security for CS. Speaker is Sachin Dedia sir, very famous speaker from Mumbai on this subject. And 26th May, we have one more important topic, Code of Ethics, practical case studies, the new Code of Ethics on practical ethics case studies by our past Central Council member, CA J. Venkateswalu, sir. This is also on 26th Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So these four programs are lined up. So I request all the members to please register and pass on this information to our colleagues. Now, once again, my sincere thanks to both the speakers and CA Deepak Ladda, Chairman of the branch, and all the attendees who joined this program, and Hyderabad branch staff for arranging this virtual program. Thank you so much.